You're listening to the Everyday Astrology Podcast. I'm Hilary Scott, your astrologer, and I'm here to bring you the current planetary conditions. So, I hope that the first week of January was all that you hoped it would be. The week actually starts out with a square between Mars in Sagittarius and Neptune in Pisces. And that's really big energy. It's like, how do you even describe it? Neptune is very powerful in Pisces because it's the ruler of Pisces. And Mars is fiery in Sagittarius. It's definitely like go, 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 truth, truth, truth. I want the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And there's a real like zealous, sort of belligerent, self-righteous demand for what is true and right and real because it's of the higher order. Like it's just sort of this expectation with Mars in Sagittarius. But Neptune being in Pisces, there's a lot of like subterfuge is a good way to put it. Like things aren't clear. We're being misled. There's not, like you can't fully make a decision about things when Neptune is in a negative aspect. And this is a difficult aspect. So but on another hand, squares force growth. So if something's been stuck, or maybe if there is been like miscommunications or flat out lies, or like if you're a person that's cheating in any way, you're probably in danger at this time of being exposed for what you're doing. So any sort of like, I guess, misdemeanor or unjust or sort of like just seedy player type energy is not going to be rewarded well with it. There's going to be this like possible exposure of I don't know, whatever it is that's hidden. So on one level, that's wonderful because it's going to liberate. I'm kind of combining this Neptune squaring Mars in Sagittarius with the upcoming Pluto conjunct the Sun on the 16th. So those, like, as we're moving towards Pluto this week, we're tapping into that very deep kind of digging energy. Pluto really likes to figure out what went down and what we need to understand, and it wants to understand, like it wants to kind of digest. It makes me think of like a snake eating a mouse or something, or bigger. Like you've seen those African anaconda or Brazilian anacondas, and they have this like goat inside of them. I don't know why that's coming to mind. I had this encyclopedia when I was a kid, and I loved those. I had this whole set of encyclopedias, and I loved this particular one that had all these like really kind of graphic pictures in it. Scorpio moon. And there was this one with this giant anaconda, and it had this huge, I think it might have been bigger than a goat. But the neighborhood or the village, I guess, found it because it couldn't move once it ate this giant animal, and they were trying to relocate it. But it just makes me think of Pluto and its need to digest big things. Like it wants to sort things out and kind of expose the underbelly, or take in and transform what kind of caused the problem and transform it into a liberation or something that allows you to step into your power. So we have that happening as we move through this whole week, including with the Mercury Retrograde on the 14th. So it is a powerful week. Like there's definitely changes afoot, but also just be sure to kind of play your cards close. Be aware that you might feel triggered, like with on Tuesday the 11th with Mars squaring Neptune. There's definitely and actually the moon will be conjunct Uranus that day too, which is very destabilizing and upsetting, and maybe even like information you didn't expect to get will arrive, but it can also be downloads of amazing information that is liberating you in some way. But also with the Mars squaring Neptune, you could feel pissed off. You might be like really angry about what's going on, or feeling like something is very unjust or not true. Actually, every time I listen to the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, which is like our local, not local, it's not, it's, what is it when it's the whole country? It's federal. So it's like the whole country, all the provinces in the country. This is our radio. And there's just like flat out bold-faced lying going on all the time now. And it just, I don't even know who to call. I just get in a total uproar about it. And I also have Mars in Sagittarius. So like when things seem untrue or there's lies going on, I get so pissed off and feel like I'm supposed to do something about it. Like there's this definite urge to act, to correct the situation. And, I've written some letters. I've written some sternly worded letters, but ultimately, even incredibly powerful people right now are being silenced and deplatformed. So if there's any sort of true thing that needs to be spoken in your world or some injustice, it really is a time that you might be triggered to deal with it in some way. It might be good to kind of like play your cards close and be careful before you move forward. It can also be like a good time to actually activate your goals, maybe some sort of creative pursuits that you have. Maybe you start this painting you've been thinking about, or start like some kind of project, some kind of creative endeavor, maybe some kind of like service to others. You might get kind of the wind beneath your wings and start to see what you need to do. Or you might feel kind of thwarted and frustrated and be like, I know there's lies and I can't stop them, and do that sort of like stuff that's going on. Anyway, be aware that there's some pretty heavy energy between Mars in Sagittarius and Neptune in Pisces. But also, it's energy that can be used productively to unstuck a stuck situation, or like kind of light a fire under your ass when you've been procrastinating, or that Mars fiery energy is good. There might be a lot of steam, there might be a lot of frustration, but also a lot, if you can take that and channel it into something productive, it's awesome. Like most things, right? If we can flip that switch to the positive. On Wednesday, there is actually like nice aspects on Wednesday the 12th. The sun and the moon are trine each other, sun in Capricorn, moon in Taurus. So very earthy energy to get things done, to always about getting things done with the earth signs. Like maybe you need to do like winter spring cleaning and get your house in order and clear the energy and feng shui everything. Make sure that there's flow and there's no riffraff hanging around energetically. That's kind of a great thing to do with that day. That day also, it moves into Gemini. The moon will move through and into Gemini, which is, again, you can be busy, you can get things done, you can do a lot of thinking. Maybe it's a good time to run errands where you'll feel like, now I feel like running errands. So do that Wednesday. It is like a good day. Like even going into Thursday, we've got things going. You're probably going to feel kind of buoyed. Friday is when Mercury goes retrograde. And this is the first Mercury retrograde of the year. So just keep in mind that's what's going on. You don't need to like change anything, but do know that it's wonderful for all our things. Review, redo, reorganize, revise, reconsider, anything you can think of that you can put RE in front of is good to do with Mercury retrograde, because it is like a review period to make sure that you're going in the right direction. Because sometimes we're all like, I'm going this way. And if we just took a minute to think, maybe we weren't going the right way. So Mercury retrograde happens about 3 times a year for 3 weeks and gives us this real good chance to be able to review our situation and make sure we're making the right decisions. So with it being in Aquarius, we are probably in for some technological snafus. Make sure that you back up your things you need to back up. Learn how to use the technology that you have around you, because maybe you have a device that you could be very useful to you, or maybe you're stopping yourself from doing something technological that you could really absorb very easily right now, and therefore progress along with the rest of the world, because the technology has been, it's like a double-edged sword. Like most things, in one way, it's freed us to still continue on and create this world alongside this sort of falling world. On another hand, they're using the same technology to also kind of imprison us with vaccine passports and whatnot. So it is a double-edged sword. So if you can get on the right side of that sword, then it can be really helpful, and you can use it to kind of build your world independent of this other thing that's going on in the world. Because you don't want to be a part of the other thing that's going on. You want to kind of get yourself into your own free sort of frequency so that you're not affected by, the whims of society or culture. So that's Friday. We've got that Mercury retrograde going on until the 5th of February, and it will be backtracking through Aquarius until the 25th of December, or not December, sorry, January. And then it'll move into Capricorn again. So any kind of business sort of stuff you need to get done, Capricorn is really good with that. It likes to do business stuff, be businessy. Usually Capricorns have like a home office and a collection of stationary items and, the things you need to run a business. I'm a Capricorn, and when I was a little kid, I think I was about 8, and I met this new friend in this new area that we were living in, and her name was Cami, and she was super cool, and I so liked her. And her parents had a business, and so they had like a home office kind of in their basement for, extra business stuff. And they had these fabulous German shepherds, and they were just the coolest dogs ever. And we used to get together and play office. We would be like, we'd get all set up with our like office stuff. I don't even know. I know we had all the accoutrement you would need for an office. And I remember Cami had these super cool glasses. She was also a Capricorn. I was on the 31st of December and she's on the 1st of January. And we literally would get together and play office together. She had these glasses that she had her initials on. And I thought that was just the coolest thing, that you would have these awesome glasses. But I didn't need glasses. I had good eyes, fortunately. But I got my parents to take me to get a pair of glasses and like lied. This is where I learned with all my Sagittarius not to lie, because it gets you in trouble. And lied about what I needed like for glasses. And so they gave me this prescription based on the lies I was telling, and I couldn't see through my new glasses at all. I should have just told my parents I needed some clear lens glasses. Anywho, that backfired and I couldn't wear my cool glasses, but I still very much enjoyed building my imaginary business with Cami, Capricorn style. So if you have any sort of Capricorn things that need doing, now is the time to do them. They'll be like so well received and you'll feel really on top of things. Again, in a review sort of fashion, because it's Mercury retrograde. So like go over things with a fine-tooth comb and figure out what you need to succeed and how you can go forward. Also, Capricorn's great at like a budget and being very frugal. So you should be able to make pretty clear assessments with this energy. Going into Saturday on the 15th, it's a lovely day with the moon trining Jupiter. You're probably going to enjoy being at home and being cozy, being around family or who feels maybe your family of frequency. Anything to do with like fluffing up your nest and taking care of yourself will be really, really well received. You'll feel good about that. And it's a very kind of wonderful, just being able to understand what you need to feel comfort and secure. And that is a really good feeling. And then we have the Pluto conjunct the sun and that's in Capricorn at 6:51 a.m. PST on the Sunday. It's actually that same day is going to be an opposition between the moon and Venus. So it could be a heavy day. Like generally though, I find that we've already processed what needs processing by the time the exact aspect with Pluto hits, like in a precognitive kind of fashion. So usually when the exact aspect has hit, this relief comes very swiftly, like you feel clarity about what happened or understanding sort of the depths of what you struggled with or what you were going through. It all becomes very clear, and that's sort of a good indication that you've processed it, that you've let it go. Make sure that you do any sort of crying or emoting that you need to during the week, because that's part of the processing, right? If we can physically release energy, and tears do that, laughter does that, good conversations with trusted friends do that. Whatever you can do to kind of process this week is also very important and will be very fruitful, especially coming up to this Pluto conjunct the Sun on the 16th. So yes, I hope that helps you understand this second week in January. I also want to mention again that I just love these necklaces from Ephemeris. They make these amazing little talismans, which are what they're called, not pendants. They are a pendant, but it's a pendant and a talisman of your own birth chart. They also do your moon phases, which is super cool as well. Moon phases are really interesting. So if you're interested, or if you know an astrologer lover that is interested, definitely check them out. I will leave the information for you to click on that in the show notes. But it really is a beautiful gift. And it comes with charts too, with reports, so you can read about yourself and your specific aspects. And it's all presented very beautifully and like just very elegantly. Actually, I gave one to my daughter for her birthday, and she loves it, and her friends love it. And it's just a really cool thing that you can get it engraved on the back. It's so very specific and unique, and like we are. So it's cool to give a gift, or to receive a gift, or to get yourself something that is so specific and astrological. It's super cool. So that is it for this week. I do hope that you have a most productive week and also a chill week. Try to stay relaxed. Don't have to, charge in there. We can be kind of executively in control of things, but in a very reviewing, going over things kind of manner. And that will be very fortunate for us going forward. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a most blessed week and feel secure and safe and productive and all Capricorn things Capricorns like to feel. And, remember to relax. Thanks again for listening.